Hi, I'm your Korean dad. It's been like a year and a half now since I've started making Korean dad content and blew up on TikTok, and it's been kind of really miraculous and amazing to be able to connect with so many people. It's been a heck of a journey. But, after doing TikTok for a while and again, connecting with so many people, realized that it would be cool to kind of try to see what else we could do. And so one of those things is my new YouTube channel. I will share that, for me, TikTok has sort of become almost like a security blanket. It's a thing that I'm familiar with. But that said, like, YouTube feels new because TikTok is like 30, 40, 50-second videos. YouTube videos are like 8 minutes, 12 minutes, like they're longer. And it's a whole different platform, and it's one that I don't really know very well. But that said, for me, it feels very new. It feels like a new venture. It feels like a little bit risky. I'm trusting that if things go well, it's gonna go well because I'm working with talented folks, and that the core of what I'm doing is the same. It's just gonna be on a little bit of a different level. It's gonna be longer videos. I'm also trusting that if it doesn't go well, it's gonna be okay too. I wanna know if anyone out there, if any of you feel like that. Like, is there something that you're looking at doing or have started doing that's new that you didn't necessarily know how to do or weren't sure how it was gonna go? Is there anyone out there on the live right now who can join me and maybe we can talk about it a little bit? Hi, what's your name?
My name is Maureen.
You've been listening to me talk about this a little bit. Like, yeah, have you been doing anything new or facing something new that you're not really sure how it's gonna go?
I've been teaching online classes for a really long time, but I was working for a company, and now I've been creating my own programs and starting, some new classes and stuff, and it's really nerve-wracking.
What are you teaching?
I teach like health and fitness. I'm also a yoga instructor, and I also teach an online journaling class. I have
Oh, wow.
yoga teacher training, a bunch of stuff
Uh-huh.
that have to do with health, fitness, mind, body, soul type stuff. So, being my own boss is a really new thing.
Yeah, how's it going so far for you? How's it feel?
It feels empowering, but also very scary.
What's scary about it for you?
Am I going to get enough students? Is it going to be financially worthy? Like, when you're working for yourself, it's freeing because you have your own time, but
Right.
also you have to hustle for that paycheck.
What have you been thinking about or doing to sort of help yourself feel better?
Well, I do meditate every day. I do look at positive affirmations, and I try not to allow my negative thoughts to spiral out of control.
So when you start to feel those negative thoughts, like how do you rein them in?
Well, I once listened to a great teacher that said that it takes 17 seconds for a thought to gain momentum. So if you
Oh,
allow a thought to go past that 17-second mark, then it's like a snowball. If you're pushing a snowball in the snow, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
sure.
So the same thing happens with your thoughts. So if you go past 17 seconds, that thought starts to gain momentum. And then maybe actions will come with those thoughts if you let it go
Uh-huh.
for that long.
So do you just like try to think about something else?
Yeah, so a lot of times people have a hard time to stop their negative thoughts. So
Right.
instead of just stopping the negative thoughts, you want to use your imagination to create thoughts that you want. So you start thinking about things that you're looking forward to, things that you like, things that you really enjoy. And then
Yeah.
those thoughts will gain momentum, and then maybe good things will start happening.
And this has been working for you.
Yeah, I've been doing this for about 4 years now.
And it really helps.
Oh, it's changed my life completely.
That's so interesting. I mean, the thing that what you're saying makes me think about is about how very often it does feel like our thoughts are like this voice, this separate voice that's not in our control, and that is just kind of like you're saying, like snowball, it's just kind of happening to us. But what you're saying is really that you have some control over that. I think for a lot of people, and to some degree like me, if you don't know that that's a thing you can do, you won't even try. But you're saying that it's been working for you. I feel like maybe it's a thing that I'm gonna try.
It's definitely life changing. There's only two things I believe that we have control over in this world, and that's our bodies and our minds.
right? You can only control yourself. You can't control anybody else. It's inspiring, and it makes me think that it is something that I can try, other people can try as well. And maybe it doesn't work the same as it does for you, but it's still, I think it's worth the effort because we're worth it, right? Ourselves.
Exactly, and you are worth it. You don't need to have those negative thoughts. I love you. Thank you so much for having me on today.
Thank you
You're
so
such
much.
an inspiration.
Thank you, thank you. Oh, it's my friend Mary. How are you doing?
I'm good. I just figured I'd pop in and say hi to you because I am afraid of being on camera, and I love you. So,
Mary, I mean, you've been listening to this chat a little bit. I mean, is there anything for you that's come up recently that you're facing that's new and maybe daunting, and you're not really sure how it's going to go?
This transition digitally, like what you going on YouTube, I think it's amazing, and I think a lot of creators. I mean, I'm speaking for people, but it's hard if you're not a person that likes being on camera because so much is digital. And with what I do, like I produce, I write, I work. But I think part of it is like the digital space is changing. And as creators, like it is hard for people who like being behind the camera to be in front of it. And I think like there's opportunities that are missed by really brilliant people because they probably share similar fears that I do.
Yeah.
Like I'm like very self-critical, but
well, that's one thing you can do when you don't feel great about your hair is kind of give yourself a head pat. That's what
like
you're doing,
don't
right?
Address it. Just do a quick little slim down.
Right.
No, but I think it's hard sometimes when you're not like, when you're not used to being on camera and so many things are on camera. Mm-hmm. So seeing, people take that leap and be articulate and great, it's wonderful. And it's encouraging for people like me to kind of get back out there and be on the other side.
For you, I mean, Mary, I know enough about you and your job. I mean, you're speaking to a lot of people very often. You have a, important leadership position in your company, and you're talking about kind of big ideas and things like that. But then you're talking about being on camera and having that. What's the difference between the two for you?
Being able to get the best out of someone is something I love doing. And I like doing that from, I think, like not being in the spotlight so much. Making someone shine and being able to know like how they're being captured on camera, making like decisions to say like this is what they're trying to say, but if we shoot it this way or do it this way, the empathy that we're trying to get out of them is going to come across better. When you direct yourself, I think it's hard. It's like writers need editors and copy editors because what we try to say and what we actually say isn't always one-to-one. So I think being in a position where like I'm directing myself is hard.
Yeah, when you get to edit, it's a whole other layer of kind of, creativity and being able to kind of tell your story or change things that you either like or don't like. It's funny because when you think about it, in a lot of ways, it's like the opposite, right? Whereas like when you're on stage or like you're speaking to a group of people, you can't go back and edit if you say something wrong. But at the same time, because it's so live and so immediate in those situations, it feels more natural and it feels like everyone's a little bit more forgiving. Whereas when it's recorded, people can watch it over and over again. If you make a mistake, people can watch it 100 times or, things like that. That can, I guess, kind of add to some of the anxiety. Yeah, I mean, for you, like, what would you think would be a way for you to feel better about doing more stuff on camera? Because I know you well enough to know that I feel like you're gonna be doing this sort of thing more and more in the future.
Probably it's like not being so self-critical and just doing it. Like part of it's practice, but you can only practice so much. I think you just have to do stuff sometimes.
It's a good advice for yourself and for everybody else and for me.
Great. Well, I'm so proud of you and it's so good to see you. I'm a
Thanks.
But best to you for everything.
Thanks, Mary. Good to see you. Keep in touch.
Hi. How are you?
Good. Can you introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Elizabeth Doss. I'm a gift maker. I make those little animated stickers people use on Instagram and Facebook comments, all that stuff. And I'm so excited to be here because I've followed you for so long.
Oh, thanks for sharing that. That really means a lot. So for you, like, have you been listening a little bit? Is there anything for you that you can relate to in terms of like having to try something or planning to try something new and not really knowing how it's going to go?
Yeah, definitely. And so I really appreciate what the last two ladies have shared because getting on video obviously is hard. And so I've been practicing this tip that I heard from another creator, Glenda Baker. She started sending short videos to her friends and to her cheerleaders in her life. And whether it's Instagram direct messages or over the phone, she would send these short videos so she could practice talking like herself and not sound like a robot. And then she slowly increased that circle to people that she was more comfortable with, and then eventually to clients, which led to her automatically jumping on social media and being able to share these stories and these tips that she was giving, but in her real authentic voice. And so I've been trying to do that more and more, of getting more comfortable with talking like a real person.
Is that what happens? Do you feel like normally when you're speaking on video that you don't talk like yourself?
When I'm doing it without talking to someone like yourself, yeah, I think I try to overproduce it somehow. And then we delete a lot. I think there's so much content that doesn't get out there because people are like, oh, that was horrible. Oh,
Right.
that looked weird, all that stuff. And so, yeah, so I really appreciated what, and I'm sorry, I forgot her name, the lady that was on before, what
Mary.
she said about just being brave and getting out there. And anyway, so yeah.
I think that in that situation, one of the recurring themes for me, and that comes up, occasionally in some of these YouTube videos that I've been working on, is this idea that like sometimes there are things that we do that we think we're supposed to be good at automatically, and that if we're not able to be good at it, that somehow we're failing, or that we're not living up to something. It's a lie that we tell ourselves. And to be honest, maybe that's not a thing for everyone to be able to do. But everyone, I think, has things that they can do if you put in the work and to some degree have the talent for it. Yeah, everything that people do involves raw talent and hard work. And, hard work part is the practice. But, the main thing being like not getting stuck in that place where it feels like, yeah, if I'm not instantly and automatically naturally good at something, that it means that something's wrong with me or that I'll never be good at it. That's just a lie that we tell ourselves sometimes, isn't it? Well, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you so much for having me today. And may everybody be blessed and encouraged today. It's been a great time.
How fun was that? Getting to chat with some folks. It's a little bit like talk show style. You'll see other videos that are kind of like this. I like to be able to just jump on Instagram Live and other live stream platforms and be able to talk with you and hear some of your stories and your perspectives on things. It really means a lot to me. You can always send an email at yourkoreandad@gmail.com, or go to the website yourkoreandad.com. You can find some contact information and other links there. Good to see everybody. Take care. See you next time.